Good afternoon to everyone
Afternoon, ma'am.
present here. We have done already the taxes that day, where we talked about. This is a regular class, na? This is regular BA2,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So we
Yes, ma'am.
so we did characteristics of a good tax system. I suppose, if I remember correctly. So now we will start with the classification and choice of taxation, which is in continuation with the taxes and its elaboration. We'll just touch some concepts related to tax more, like we did buoyancy, we did elasticity, we did progressive, proportional, something like that. So, canons of taxation we did in the last class, Adam Smith's canon, and then the later economists who supplemented these canons with certain other canon as such. So, when we start with the classification and choice of taxes, we can write some lines before this, and then I will try to explain it. You can start with the writing that a tax is usually a mixture of both advantages as well as disadvantages. It is noteworthy that the state faces many difficulties. It is noteworthy that the state faces many difficulties if it wants to recast recast the entire tax structure. So the choice of changing the tax structure the choice of changing the tax structure lies only within limits. Generally, every
Ma'am,
tax
line only.
lies only within limits. That means एक लिमिटेशन तक ही आप टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर को चेंज कर सकते हो. Beyond that, if you want to change the entire tax structure, then the state has to seek the political approval, which we are trying to look at now. Generally, every tax variation has to have a political approval has to have a political approval of the society such as approval of the legislature such as approval of the legislature just a second. Just 2 minutes. So, every tax variation has to have a political approval of the society, such as the approval of the legislature, which is not always available, which is not always available on account of pressure groups in the society. For example, you can give here the example of agriculture bill जो अभी आया है latest. If you see, there have been lot of resistance and still going on, like the farmers are revolting everywhere against the bill. Some people are saying that they are not farmers actually, but they are the people of the opposition parties. So that way, whenever any kind of tax structure needs a change, then the state has to face a lot of opposition, and there has to be a proper mechanism to do it. Like, you need the you seek the approval of the legislature. For example, it is a pre-mandate requirement in terms of our country, for example. So that is why the problem is that when we want to change some part of the tax structure, then it can be done within limits. But as soon as we want to change the entire structure, then it becomes very difficult. It has its limitations, and we have to identify that. Similarly, when we assume that the tax officials are honest and the tax administrative mechanism is very perfect, then we assume it, you know. But sometimes this assumption is not satisfied. So, what to do in that case? Because then the tax administrative machinery, if it is not honest, if it is not effective, then the whole tax system is going to collapse. Similarly, the cost of collection, tax collection, ये सारे points हमने पहले भी discuss किए हैं. The cost of tax collection may be very high, and so high that it becomes impracticable to collect the taxes, because it becomes a costly affair. So in that case, the theory and the practice of the tax structure in the country becomes very difficult, becomes contradictory to each other. And sometimes what we see in theory may not be practical, and sometimes what we can see practically may not be possible in theory. So that is why we can see that there has to be a coordination between theory and practice, which is sometimes very difficult to operate, and that becomes a problem for the choice of taxes, that which taxes to impose, what kind of tax structure needs to be imposed by the government. So this is a background that why we are talking about classification and choice of tax, why we are talking about canons of tax, why we are talking about characteristics of the good taxes, good tax system. Uh, is there a problem? I just saw a chat here. Please, Ishika, please
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
unmute.
actually,
Yeah.
ma'am, actually, yesterday in the towards the end, you said that you'll begin with the characteristics of taxes and the benefits to the taxpayers. So, are we doing that, or we are doing something else today?
No, characteristics of a good tax system. I think we finished that or not.
No, ma'am. We had to begin it in this class.
Characteristics of a good tax system.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I get
Yesterday, ma'am, we had done canons of taxation.
So
That was my hours.
yeah. So characteristics actually start from there only. So we will just finish with that and then we come to this. Background is all right if you have written. Uh, like when we talk about these canons, it's good that you reminded. I was asking in the beginning only, but I think you joined late. Uh, Characteristics of a good tax system may be formulated from these canons, which we did, you know, because canons in a way tell the government that this is how a good tax system should be. These are the features, like equity. The tax system should bring justice, the tax system should be convenient. So automatically you cannot separate these two topics. It is just that this characteristics flows from the canons, you know. And we will just shortly summarize the points of the characteristics. So you can start by writing this line, that characteristics or features of a good tax system. Just complete that chapter maybe. Characteristics or a features of a good tax system may be formulated from various objectives, principles, or canons of a tax system. Keeping these canons in mind, it is helpful. Keeping these canons in mind, it is helpful to keep certain characteristics of a good tax system. To keep characteristics of a good tax system in points. Now the first point is, I think I did this, that a tax system in isolation with other forms of public revenue or from public expenditure is an incomplete and unrealistic attempt.
Ma'am, can you repeat?
A tax system in isolation from other items of public revenue or from public expenditure is an incomplete and unrealistic attempt and if we talk about the total budget of the government, if we talk about the total budget of the government, then taxation is only an important part of this, is only an important part of this. So with the overall framework of the revenue, with the overall framework of the revenue, the expenditure side of the budget is also equally important. So, when we discussed characteristics of a good tax system, when we discuss characteristics of a good tax system, the non-tax items, the non-tax items, that means non-tax revenue items or the public expenditure can't be ignored. This is one of the characteristics of a good tax system which you just wrote. That if we want a tax system to be good, then it should not ignore the non-tax revenue sources as well as expenditure side of the budget. It should also keep in mind these two aspects. That means it should be comprising of the total budget of the government, not only the taxation side. So that is one of the characteristics. Secondly, a tax system has many dimensions. For example, the volume or the amount of tax, composition of tax.
Ma'am, please repeat.
The tax has many dimensions. For example, the volume or the amount of tax, composition of tax, rates of taxation, coverage of taxes, timings of collection, mode of collection, and so on. Based on these features, each system has, based on these features, each system has its own merits and demerits. Each system has its own merits and demerits in terms of social and economic effects. That is the second point or second characteristic of a good tax system, which keeps in mind all these dimensions. And what are the dimensions? You have just written volume, rates, coverage, mode of payment. और वही टैक्स सिस्टम कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव टैक्स सिस्टम होगा, आइडियल होगा, गुड होगा, जो कि इन सारे डायमेंशंस को साथ में लेके चलता है. Although practically it is not possible to keep in mind all these dimensions and make it the best, but then whichever tax system keeps in mind all these dimensions is said to be a good tax system. Thirdly, third characteristic, it is nearly impossible to choose a theoretically best system. It is nearly impossible to choose a theoretically best system. For example, we assume that the administrative machinery, that means tax administrative machinery, is efficient and honest, but in real life this may not be true.
Ma'am, please repeat example.
For example, if we assume that the tax administrative machinery is honest and efficient in theory, but it may not be the realistic proposition. This may not be true in real life. Similarly, some taxes may be theoretically sound great. Some taxes theoretically may sound great or good, but the cost of collection of these taxes may be very high. So, practically, the government has to think about these problems the government has to think about these problems while working out for the best possible tax system in the country. While working out for the best tax system in the country. What did you understand by this point? Third characteristic of a good tax system. Can you read it and explain in your own words? Any one of you? Please unmute your mic and you can tell me that what do you understand by the third point or the third characteristic of a good tax system.
It means that just theoretically, when the system is sounding good, it does not mean practically it would be good for the country, because if the things are different in practical life and on the books.
Yes, that's true. And this point tells about this situation, this problem, which she just explained that theoretically many things sound great, but as soon as you implement it, then it becomes practically impossible. So the we have given these examples to show that theoretically, when the government wants to make impose any taxes, then it looks good, but then as soon as the cost of collection is involved, it may be very high, and then the government has to just stop imposing that tax, or maybe the tax administrative mechanism is corrupt or not very good efficient, so the government has to stop. So that is why there is a conflict between the theory and the practice, and it becomes impossible to have an ideal tax system, and it's very difficult to achieve that. And that is why the characteristics, when we are talking about, they are somewhat the characteristics which are ideal, like they are not practically possible. That's what we want to say in this point. Then the fourth characteristic is the attitude
Ma'am,
of the taxpayer.
ma'am, can you give the example of the cost of collection of tax is high?
uh, that is related to the administrative tax machinery only. Maybe, for example, if we talk about, say, income tax, for example, earlier I can tell you the cases where the like it was not a very online kind of return filing and all those things. Then what happened was that we had to, the income or the salaried class had to give the proof of the um, our investments, for example. Now these investments are seen by the office people wherever the person is working. Then the office person sends it to the IT department. Now IT department was having a big chain, like from the lower clerical grade to the higher, officer grade, and there were, 5 to 6 people involved there. Now you have to, as a taxpayer, it becomes very inconvenient for you to, give that kind of proof to at and each and every stage, and it involved cost means cost of collection, cost of dishonesty. There was so much corruption there that at every stage, when you want to move your file, you have to pay. So it the tax collection becomes a costly affair in that way, because at every channel the taxpayer is burdened, and then it is when it is going to the government, then automatically the real amount which should have been gone directly to the government would not have gone there. So now that is why the government, this is a very good step which the government is doing now, making all things digital and transparent, because digitalization will definitely lead to transparency, which was not the case earlier. So this is an attempt which shows that we want to reduce the cost of the affairs. So that is how we talk about this. I hope you understand now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now the fourth characteristic is the attitude of the taxpayer. Attitude of taxpayer का मतलब ये होता है कि since we are all living in a society, and if we are paying the tax and someone else to whom we identify is also paying the tax, we don't feel burdened. But if suppose I am liable to pay a tax, but my colleague doesn't, is not liable to pay the tax, then what will happen? I will feel discriminated there. My attitude will be affected. My attitude towards tax payment will be affected. I will try to see that why I am being discriminated, why I am being asked to pay more, and my colleague who is also, earning the same amount is not asked to pay. So that is, that is just an example, but maybe there are several kinds of taxes where you feel that kind of discrimination. So the attitude of the taxpayer is an important variable in determining the contents of a good tax system. You can write here, the attitude of the taxpayer is an important variable in determining the contents of a good tax system. Normally, each taxpayer desires to be free from tax burden, because tax is a compulsory payment, as we did in the definition. Every taxpayer desires to be free from taxes, but does not mind if the tax burden is borne by others, but does not mind if the tax burden is borne by others. But if it is not so, then we feel discriminated. So, a good tax system should be equitable to all taxpayers, or should appear equitable to all taxpayers. Or every taxpayer should bear the same burden in terms of tax payment. I think it is clear, attitude of the taxpayer, that whether he is feeling burdened, whether he is not, whether he feels discrimination or not, these things will make a good tax system to be good or inefficient. If you feel discriminated, you will criticize that tax system. That system will not be good for the taxpayers. But tax automatically creates a burden because it's a compulsory payment, it's not voluntary. And if you feel that you are being asked to pay more than your fellow colleague, then in that case you feel more burdened and you feel discriminated. So if you want the main characteristic is that you have to win the confidence of the taxpayer. Every good government has to win the confidence of the taxpayer, and for that it is essential that the tax system should bring equitable justice. The taxpayer should not feel burdened, discriminated, and so on. पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड तभी डेवलप होगा टुवर्ड्स द गवर्नमेंट एंड द टैक्स सिस्टम. And lastly, you can write that changes.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
मैम देन तो इन दैट केस मैम कैनन ऑफ इक्वलिटी विल कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट, लाइक वहां पे बोला था कि हर टैक्स पेयर को अपनी एबिलिटी के हिसाब से टैक्स देना चाहिए, और यहाँ पे कि अगर हम किसी पे ज्यादा करेंगे और मतलब डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करेंगे तो टैक्स पेयर का मतलब
नहीं
हाँ.
वो जो एग्जाम्पल था वो ये दिखा रहा था कि जो आपका इक्विटेबल टैक्सेशन होना चाहिए, मतलब जिनकी एबिलिटी ज़्यादा है वो ज़्यादा पे करेंगे और जिनकी कम है वो कम पे करेंगे. यहाँ पे हम उसकी बात नहीं करें, यहाँ पे हम ये बात करें कि सपोज़ मान लो मेरी भी इनकम 1 लाख है और एक और टीचर है उनकी भी इनकम 1 लाख है, बट सपोज़ कि मेरे ऊपर किसी तरह का कोई टैक्स लग जाता है. इनकम टैक्स तो नहीं कहेंगे क्योंकि वो TDS से कट जाता है तो वो तो यूनिफॉर्म होता है. देन अगेन यू विल हैव अ कन्फ्यूजन इन योर माइंड. बट सपोज़ हमारे ऊपर कोई टैक्स लगा देती है अथॉरिटी कि नहीं आपको ये पे करना है. सपोज़ कि हमसे कोई नुकसान हो जाता है इंस्टीट्यूशन का और वो हमारे ऊपर ये टैक्स लगाती है कि नहीं आपको ये देना है. नाउ इन दैट केस आई विल फील, सपोज़ मैंने वो नुकसान नहीं भी किया है, देन आई विल फील कि नहीं मेरे ऊपर ये टैक्स क्यों लगा, मेरे उस कुलीग पे क्यों नहीं लगा. उसने जबकि उसने भी उतनी देर वहाँ पे उस चीज़ का सपोज़ कि कंजम्पशन किया या यूज़ किया, या हो सकता है उससे भी कभी नुकसान हुआ हो जिस पे वो फीस ना मांगी गई हो और आज मुझसे मांगी गई. देयर मे बी सेवरल इंस्टेंसेस लाइक दैट, यू नो. सो इन दैट केस where our abilities are same to pay, but then I am asked to pay and she or he is not asked to pay, then what will happen? I will feel discriminated there, and then in that case my attitude towards the tax system will be critical. I will not be happy with that tax system. I will not be happy with the tax imposition by whosoever the authority may be in that case, you know. So that is one point which you need to understand here. हम उसकी बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे कि एबिलिटी टू पे की. एबिलिटी टू पे इज़ द होल प्रिंसिपल विच वी विल स्टडी फर्दर. यहाँ पे हम एक जनरल बात कर रहे हैं कि टैक्स पेयर का जो एटीट्यूड है वो टैक्स सिस्टम के लिए कैसा है वो होना ज़रूरी है. मतलब एक पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड का होना ज़रूरी है अगर आप एक टैक्स सिस्टम को गुड कहलाना चाहते हो. सपोज यू आर इन गवर्नमेंट, यू आर अ प्लानर, यू आर अ पॉलिसी मेकर, and you are sitting as a cabinet secretary in the finance ministry. Now you are asked to win the confidence of the taxpayers. वो आप कैसे करोगे अगर आपने सेम जिनकी एबिलिटी है उन पर ही कहीं पे आपको, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही ब्रॉड मैकेनिज्म होता है टैक्स कलेक्शन का. इट्स नॉट कि आप वहाँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में बैठे हो और यहाँ हर स्टेट में जो जो चीज़ें हो रही हैं सबका आपको पता ना भी हो सकता है. ऐसी स्थिति में क्या होगा, जो एटीट्यूड ऑफ द टैक्स पेयर है वो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है. इसीलिए जैसे अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं मान लो एग्रीकल्चर बिल की, अगर आप लोग थोड़ा सा पढ़ते हो या देखा हो आपने न्यूज़ में, बहुत सारा रेजिस्टेंस हो रहा है. हमारा कहना ये है कि जब भी हम कोई भी बिल लाते हैं या कोई भी हम चेंज करते हैं किसी भी टैक्स में, तो अगर हम पहले से पब्लिक को उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन दें और उनसे हम ये चीज़ का वोटिंग करा लें, आई थिंक उनका कॉन्फिडेंस जीत कर अगर हम उसको लेजिस्लेचर में पास कराएं, आई थिंक दैट विल बी अ आइडियल सिचुएशन. लेकिन होता क्या है कि वो सेंटर में पार्लियामेंट में पास हो जाता है और उसके बाद वो आ जाता है एंड देन पीपल नो अबाउट इट. द रियल पीपल नो अबाउट इट ओनली व्हेन इट इज़ ब्रॉट इनटू imposition at that stage. So that is a matter of discussion for all of us being in the economics discipline. But here the basic point is this only, that the attitude of the taxpayer has to be positive. If it is negative, then automatically the tax structure will be criticized, the taxation system will be criticized.
So ma'am, basic idea is to win the confidence of taxpayer.
हाँ, the attitude, positive attitude of the taxpayer, because tax itself is not a voluntary payment. Nobody will feel happy to pay, you know, because अगर आप जो कह रहे हो एबिलिटी टू पे के हिसाब से भी लगाओ तो आपने उन पर ज़्यादा लगा दिया जो कि अपनी मेहनत से जिन्होंने कमाया, सपोज, है ना। तो और अगर आप ये बात करो कि अंबानीज एंड टाटाज एंड बिरलाज, अगर आप उन पे टैक्स लगा रहे हो, सो दे आर द पीपल who are saving and investing for the economic growth of our country also. And if you will impose more taxes, they will feel that burden, they will not feel happy. हो सकता है टाटा ने कुछ सोशल कॉज में लगाया हो, मतलब दैट इज अ पॉइंट ऑफ डिस्कशन अगेन, बट द थिंग इज कि हाउ मच, लाइक अंबानीज ने कितना अपने ऊपर खर्च किया और कितना उन्होंने सोशल कॉज में लगाया, या जो वो स्टेप्स ले भी रहे हैं उसमें कितना वो अपने प्रॉफिट के बारे में सोच रहे हैं. दीज थिंग्स आर अ मैटर ऑफ डिस्कशन. तो ये यहाँ पे यही बात आ रही है कि हमें एटीट्यूड ऑफ द टैक्स पेयर को विन करना होगा, बिकॉज टैक्स इज़ अ कंपल्सरी पेमेंट. तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं ये दिखाना होगा कि नहीं, हम सबसे मांग रहे हैं, हम आप ही से नहीं मांग रहे हैं, हम सबसे मांग रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि हमें देश चलाना है, आपने हमें इलेक्ट किया है, हम गवर्नमेंट हैं, और हम कहाँ से करेंगे अगर आप लोग हमारा साथ नहीं दोगे, मतलब समथिंग लाइक दैट, यू नो. आप हमारी क्लास में आते हो, अगर हम आपको ज़बरदस्ती क्लास में बुलाएं तो आप कितने दिन आओगे? अनलेस एंड अनटिल आई विन, यू नो, योर कॉन्फिडेंस, योर अफेक्शन, योर रेस्पेक्ट टुवर्ड्स मी. सो यूटिलिटी ऑफ द क्लास शुड बी देयर फॉर एवरी टीचर, इट स्टैंड्स ट्रू. तो ये चीज़ तभी आप एक टाइम टेबल बनाते हो, तभी आप बच्चों को गूगल मीट की लिंक दे रहे हो. लेकिन अब ये कोई कंपल्शन थोड़ी है, हम आपको स्कूल में कॉलेज में थोड़ी बुला रहे हैं, इट इज़ ऑनलाइन क्लास. So same thing is here only, you know. And lastly, we come to the last point, that changes in a tax system can be brought about only slowly and in stages. Changes in the tax system can be brought about only slowly and in stages. That means even if the government decides that the tax system needs overhauling, it cannot suddenly disrupt the existing one. It has to gear up for the new tax system, the new tax machinery, and that can only be done in stages. एकदम से आप नहीं पूरा टैक्स सिस्टम स्ट्रक्चर बदल सकते. सो कंक्लूजन अब लिख लीजिए. A good tax system on the whole is one which recognizes the basic rights of all the taxpayers of the country, which recognizes the basic rights of all the taxpayers in the country. He is expected to pay taxes but not undergo harassment. He is expected to pay taxes but not undergo harassment. Tax laws should be simpler in language. Plain and simple वाला canon आ गया. The tax laws should be simple in language. The tax liability should be determined with certainty. The mode and timing of the tax payment should be convenient to the taxpayer.
Can you repeat?
The mode and timing of the payment should be convenient to the taxpayer, so these are the points related to canons only, and from there we have summarized the characteristics of a good tax system. So this completes this chapter of public revenue general considerations, where we talked about tax in detail. एंड इसमें भी और चीज़ें जो निकल के आ रही हैं जो इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ टैक्स से ही रिलेटेड है, जो कि अभी हमने शुरू कर दिया था, क्लासिफिकेशन एंड चॉइस ऑफ टैक्सेस, जिसमें कुछ कुछ कंसेप्ट्स हैं जो कि आपको पता होने चाहिए. So classification and choice of tax में अभी we started with that paragraph where we talked about that a tax is mixture of both advantages and disadvantages, and tax structure, whenever we need to change it, then it has to go through a political process and the legislature. So we did that, and now on the basis of that we will try to touch some concepts. For example, the first टाइप ऑफ कंसेप्ट, ये आपके जनरल नॉलेज के लिए भी ज़रूरी है और साथ में आपसे शॉर्ट नोट्स या कंपलसरी में भी पूछा जा सकता है. सिंगल वर्सेस मल्टीपल टैक्स सिस्टम, दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द कंसेप्ट्स. सिंगल वर्सेस मल्टीपल टैक्स सिस्टम. इट इज़ वेरी क्लियर बाय द नेम इटसेल्फ. सिंगल टैक्स सिस्टम का मतलब हो गया कि जिसमें एक ही टैक्स सिस्टम पूरी कंट्री में प्रिवेल करता है. और अभी पुराने समय में हमारे यहाँ भी सिंगल टैक्स सिस्टम ही था बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ मल्टीपल टैक्स सिस्टम्स. वन सिंपल फॉर्म ऑफ अ सिंगल टैक्स. और इसका एक एग्जाम्पल आप दे सकते हो, पोल टैक्स, POLL, पोल टैक्स, और हेड टैक्स, HEAD, हेड टैक्स, which is imposed on a person simply because he is there in the society. Is imposed on a person simply because he is there in the society and not because he is earning or he has income or he has wealth or any particular trade or any possession, anything, profession, anything. It is only because he is existing in the society, and so he has to pay this tax, which is a form of poll tax. Except some exceptions are there for the blind, deaf, insane, etc. Then multiple tax system, only this much you have to do, not in detail. Multiple tax system is resulting from the complex modern economy where you don't have only one tax, you have multiple taxes being imposed upon people.
Resulting from
multi-tax system means number of taxes. A tax system comprising of number of taxes in resulting in modern complex economy. Where the income of the economy also originates from various sources and the expenditure is done on various heads. Where the income originates from various sources and the expenditure is also done on various heads. So we need a multiple tax system in that case. Like India has multiple tax system. So this is one concept. Another is proportional versus progressive taxes. This is another classification of tax, proportional versus progressive. On the basis of progression of a tax, you make this classification. On the basis of progression of a tax. Write this line, a tax is called progressive when with increasing income, a tax is said to be progressive when with increasing income, the tax liability increases in proportion of that income. The tax liability increases in proportion to that income. On the other hand,
Ma'am, can you repeat?
a tax is said to be progressive when with increasing income, the tax liability also increases as a proportion to that income. On the other hand, the tax liability increases in the same proportion as the increase in income. The tax liability increases in the same proportion as the increase in income, then it is called proportional taxation. And there is another form also which you can write, regressive taxation. REGR, regressive taxation, which is the opposite of progressive. If the tax liability as a proportion of income falls with the increase in income. If the tax liability as a proportion of income falls with the increase in income, then it's called regressive taxation. So try to read it because इंडिया में जैसे इनकम टैक्स इज बेस्ड ऑन प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन सिस्टम, सिमिलरली रिग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन सिस्टम का को हम रीगन ने, जब रोनाल्ड रीगन थे यूएस में, तो ही एडवोकेटेड दिस रिग्रेसिव टैक्सेशन सिस्टम because he was of the opinion that if we impose more tax on the rich like in progressive taxes, then they will be discouraged to save and invest for the economic growth of the country, which is not good. And so he said that if we impose higher taxes on the lower income group, that's the opposite of progressive, then in that case these people will try to work more and be out of that bracket, and they will also try to become rich so that they can be out of the tax bracket. That was his logic. But definitely the economies of India and US are very different, and then it was not imposed here because here we cannot imagine the people, lower income grouped people, to pay more, because many of them are not even able to have two time meals with their incomes. So how we can identify them and encourage them to work more and earn more and be out of the tax bracket? So that could not happen in India. But Reagan imposed this kind of thing for some time, that is regressive taxation system, so that the rich people were saving for and investing for the economic growth of the country because they felt happy. They felt happy with the taxation system of the government, that they are not being asked to pay more in terms of taxes. And on the other hand, the lower income group people wanted to work more, save more, and earn more, so that they can be out of that tax bracket. So that is just an example which I shared with you. You can study about it on internet more about these terms, but you have to just do it in very short, because touching these systems just for your knowledge, but they are not asked in detail that what are the taxes types and all. Then we will continue with this in the next class, with the direct versus indirect taxes, that what are they, what is the difference between them, direct and indirect taxes. That's all for today's class. If you want to ask anything or share anything, otherwise I'll close. I hope you understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just go through it again. I'll send the photos of the pages which we did today, so that you can understand it much. Because this is not only important for your examinations, but it is important for your base, for the career. So please remember that. And you have time because you're sitting at home. So please search on internet, what does it mean, the progressive and regressive taxation system. Try to gain that additional knowledge into your mind. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, tell